regular select board meeting of Wednesday, October 22nd. I will call the meeting to order, and we will start with a couple of announcements from the chair. The first is that on Wednesday, October 29th, in the Lenox Town Hall Auditorium, there will be two sessions regarding the special town meeting. This is an informational workshop. The first one is from 1 to 2 p.m., and the second evening session is from 5 to 6 p.m. If you have questions about town meeting, you can join town officials to learn more about the November 6th special town meeting warrant articles, including the proposed property purchases of Kennedy Park and Housatonic Street, general bylaw updates, including short-term rentals, and zoning bylaw updates that involve fencing, screening, and accessory dwelling units. So again, that's October 29th, Lenox Town Hall Auditorium, first session 1 to 2 p.m., second session 5 to 6. And Lenox Public Safety Complex, that's looking stunning as you drive by. That will be on Saturday, November 8th, from 12 to 4 p.m. From 12 to 12:30, there'll be some remarks on ribbon cutting, and from 2 to 3:30 p.m., Hutch and Cap, the first two fire chiefs, presentation by Amy Lefebvre. Does anyone else have any announcements? Good. That's good. Wonderful. Then we will move into Citizens Open Forum. Residents of Lenox are welcome to address the board for up to 2 minutes. And we have someone here. Is there anyone else here? Come on up. Someone. Just say your name and address into the microphone, please.
Hi, Mindy Moran, 80 Pine Knoll. I'm here to thank you for Housatonic Street and East Street, the light. But I don't think it solved the major traffic issues that continue to be there. I was unlucky enough to be hit and T-boned there about 2 years ago. And already, since the new light has come in, I've already seen 2 car accidents with airbags deployed. So, and those only 2 that I know of, but it continues to be very dangerous in that area, especially during school traffic time when everyone's rushing down from East Street. So I just hope that we consider, I know a traffic study was most likely done when we did the changeover of the light, but I hope that the select board and the town would consider putting an actual light there and making it safer. But thank you for the light that's there.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else for Citizens Open Forum? No, then we'll move into the consent agenda.
Okay.
On this, we have an appointment of Albert Harper to the Zoning Board of Appeals, filling a vacancy until 2028. Hold on that. We have a special license request for a 1-day all-alcoholic beverage liquor license submitted by Jacqueline Donovan, Ventford Hall, for Saturday, October 25th from 6 to 10 p.m. at Ventford Hall, 104 Walker Street. And we also have a special license request for a 1-day all-alcoholic beverages liquor license submitted by Emma Brosnan, Ventford Hall, for Tuesday, October 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Ventford Hall, 104 Walker Street. Should we start with the hold? Or do you want to approve the first 2 and then?
You got one.
Oh,
Apologies, there's
do I
an amendment for the third license.
Yeah, last minute request and we got it in.
Wow. A special license request for a 1-day all-alcoholic beverages liquor license submitted by Alicia Cardarella for Friday, October 31st from 5 to 8 p.m. at Ventford Hall, 104 Walker Street.
So one of those need to be amended again?
These, apologies, Emma Brosnan, Ventford Hall, Tuesday, October 28th. That's actually wine and malt. It's
Got
listed
it.
on the agenda as all alcohol. It's wine and malt only.
Wine and malt only. Understood.
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, I will move to approve the consent agenda minus the hold and with the amendment to wine and malt only versus all alcohol on the third item.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And to the hold.
Thank you. Al Harper has certainly donated a lot of his time to the town over the past many years as both on the CPC and the zoning board of appeals. However, of all the people who are on the various boards, I've gotten more calls about Al than anyone else. And I don't want to say there's a million calls, okay, but at least a couple of years saying, you know, he was short, he was condescending, he was so forth. No sense in going into all of that. No doubt Al Harper is a smart guy. He's one of the very smartest guys I know, but he's not very kind. And I think that, he's served certainly enough time on the board and deserves a retirement unless, and I'll put this caveat out there, he agrees with me and would be willing to write a letter to say how we would address this in talking to applicants and opponents of various things. And now, I say this because I look at you guys, this board. We have people coming in all the time talking to us, and they leave here disappointed sometimes. But they're not leaving here saying we were rude, we were short, we didn't pay attention to them, we didn't take what they said into consideration. So I would like to see that same example applied to the other boards and the other people that are on them, although I haven't gotten any complaints. So that's what and some of this is personal experience too. So because of that, I'm going to abstain from voting on the appointment. And I'll certainly abide by whatever you guys decide. But I really would like to see a plan as how he would handle the same situations in the future. So it's up to you.
So, for different reasons, completely different reason, I want to put this on hold, not act on it tonight. My reasons are this, that we've in the past, in all my time we've been here, we've always talked to the boards, got their opinion of who's going to be put on the board. We have to work together. All the boards have to work together. It can't be a controversial thing, so everybody has to understand who they're getting with them. I'm not saying they have to necessarily vote together or vote the way I think or anything like that, but they have to work together, be able to work together. And we've always had the endorsement from the rest of the board or committee members that this person is a decent fit. May not agree with me 100%, but it's a decent fit. So we haven't done that on this appointment. We haven't done that. We haven't talked to the other members of the zoning board. And we've been lax on this on some other areas too in the past few months. So we have to get back to that. I think that's a good policy we had, and we should stick with it.
And I'll agree with you. No need to bring up names, but I don't know if we all received some complaints this past few months about this board in terms of, a different petition, not to do with the person that's being asked to be on the board again. So I agree that we should go back to a meeting of the minds, or at least hearing out the chairs of these appointed boards versus just giving them someone because we got an application. We can't do that for the elected people, but for the appointed boards, we kind of fell away from that.
Right.
And I think we should go back to that. So I would move that we hold on this or put this off until we talk to Chair Fuster and others. Sorry.
Sounds good.
Keeps
All right.
silence my phone and my watch ring.
So that's a motion?
Then I guess, yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very well. Then on to general business. First, we have the ratification of the town manager's appointment of Paul Mattingly to the position of town clerk.
Paul, come on up. Take the mic.
Hello everyone, my name is Paul Mattingly. I've had the great pleasure of being able to interview with Jay and Deanna for the town clerk position, and very excited to be coming on board. Recently coming from town of North Canaan, where I was an executive assistant to the first selectman there, and then also an assistant town clerk. Prior to that, I worked at Berkshire Community College for a couple of years, and then also worked on a national policy organization dedicated to CTE, so career technical education. Before that, spent about 15 years in business world. So I have kind of a varied amount of different experiences here, and really want to bring all of that here to Lenox and
15 years old.
best I can do and help with. I have a bachelor's in political science from Central Connecticut State University, and then also a master's in public policy from University of Massachusetts. Then also a graduate certificate in public management from UMass as well. So it's a kind of short, quick bio. I live over in Monterey. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm originally from Connecticut. Been here for about 6 years or so.
Certainly sound qualified.
Paul, I'd like to say, Carrie reached out to me today, Carrie Sullivan,
Yeah.
and she wanted to come tonight. She's very excited to welcome you on board. She
Yeah.
wanted me to stress that she's happy that you're coming on board, and she looks forward to working with you. She had a family thing, so she wasn't going to make it tonight, but she did want me to let you know.
That's good. I'm very excited to be able to do some training with her and some onboarding with her. So it's wonderful to have that transition time.
Great.
When would you start?
November 3rd, so Monday.
November 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie plans to stay through the end of the year, and because Carrie is Carrie, she's certainly willing to pop in even after that, just in case if we need it. So the timing worked out really well. I also want to say, the entire process that we had, we received about 20 applications, not all met entry-level criteria. We did 2 rounds of interviews. Paul was a member of about 6 that we did the first round with, and then we narrowed that down to 3. Carrie was a part, and Deanna was a part of round 2, just to get 2 different perspectives. And it was a good pool, final pool, but Paul outshined and shined on his own through both. He appreciates, really, I think, just from my commentary, he appreciates the dedication to local government, what we do, and he understands that mix of legal requirements and the procedural aspect of the job, but also when the bell rings on the door, that's a constituent coming in. And Carrie's delivered that. We have a really good track record of that, and I'm confident that with Paul, he's going to continue that level of customer service, but also look at things in terms of improvements related to E-Code 360, all the stuff that I think Carrie's happy she won't be here to do. But we went through that with him, and he's willing to take that on. So I think it'll be a great evolution from where we are now with it. And he appreciates history. And we know what's in that vault downstairs, among other places here in town. So I think Paul will be a great fit for our community.
Yeah, and just to build upon what you were saying before about the customer service aspect, I mean, local government is where people usually have the most direct contact with government, and you want it to be a positive one, and you want it to be based in facts and regulations and laws, but also you want it to be kind of navigating them through any kind of challenges they may have, because at the end of the day, you want to help them get accomplished what it is that they're trying to do in every way possible.
Thank you.
Yes.
Terrific. I think we should acknowledge Carrie as well. I mean, she's done this for so long that she feels like a part of this building, so, but we're glad to have you on board. So, okay with the motion?
Yep. I like that, yeah.
So I will move, Mr. Chair, I move to ratify the appointment of Paul Mattingly to the position of town clerk.
Second.
All in favor?
Welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Welcome aboard,
Now
Paul.
you can sit down and say, the town meeting more.
Next up, we have the approval of the storm drain easement at 65 Cliffwood.
I can take it, or if you want. It's up to you.
I can try and you can help fill
So
out.
is it?
It's just an easement for a drain. It goes through, if anybody is familiar with Cliffwood Street at the bottom of Greenwood Street, there's a drain at the bottom. A lot of water comes down that road. And it goes underneath this George Krupp's property and daylights down on Yokin Avenue. The line has been there 1,000 years. Nobody really knows exactly where it is or what it's made of or anything. But the Krupps they'll pay to have a new line put in through their entire property. So this is just an easement to allow them to do that. I think it's 12-inch pipe.
12-inch. The current size is about inch, maybe inch and a half, give or take, carrying stormwater, and some of it's clay.
Wow.
We're a little bit concerned, with these storms that we've been getting, but it's sized up to a 12-inch, so we should be okay.
So that'll take care of us, take care of him, and, he's gonna pay for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's a good
Win-win.
win-win.
Win-win. Thank you to them.
Mm.
So they drew up the easement agreement, or,
Oh, yeah.
and that was looked at by our town council?
Between their attorney and our attorney.
Okay, great,
We drew it up, yeah.
excellent, looks good.
Yeah.
Katie Klein worked on it with us, and their attorney worked on it, we went back and forth.
Good.
Bill was certainly involved in it. He read it through, it manages liability appropriately, I feel. But once again, it's a good agreement for us to maintain our infrastructure.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, I move to, let's see, make the right one. I move to approve the storm drain easement at 65 Cliffwood Street as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we move to a public hearing.
Do we need to open a hearing here, Jay?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I move to open a public hearing for the on behalf of National Grid Verizon, who are seeking to permission to locate poles, wires, and fixtures, include sustaining and protecting fixtures along East Street near Lenox Memorial High School, and to provide service for the EV charging stations at LMMHS.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The hearing is open.
You're up now.
Good evening.
Hi again.
Pretty much as it says, National Grid's requesting that pole for the Lenox High School. They're requesting for EV service, and we need a pole on the far side of like where the pole line is at. So just here if there's any questions alongside the road, public take.
I don't have any.
The town caused this one. We've been, before I even got here last January, we've been looking at where to put in some potential EV chargers. First two locations were at Morris Elementary and also at Memorial Middle and High. So in order to accommodate that installation at the high school, the National Grid's got to install a pole. That's what it comes down to. So we caused this one.
So it's gonna be overhead wires, not an underground easement?
Overhead,
Okay.
yep.
Great. Great. Looks good.
Great.
Bill has looked at it, he's fine with the location, et cetera. That's correct, Ian, right?
And Dr. Collins as well, yes.
Yes.
Okay. First, I'll move to close the public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye. And now I will move to approve the petition of National Grid to locate poles, wires, and fixtures, including sustaining and protecting fixtures along and across East Street near LMMHS to provide service for EV charging stations at LMMHS.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Next up, we have to review and approve the special town meeting warrant for town meeting scheduled November 6th, 2025, at 7 p.m. at the Duffin Theater at LMMHS. So I can go through and read the warrants, and if anyone wants to hold anything, we can do that, and then either address the holds or move to approve the warrant. So Article 1 is to see if the town will vote to waive the reading of the warrant and return of service thereof, and to authorize the moderator pursuant to MGL Chapter 39, Section 15, to declare a 2/3 vote on voice votes if he deems it so, or take any other action in relation thereto. This we always do, this is how we vote on it, this is how Mr. McNinch always handles things, so this is pretty standard.
Are we going to have the electronic system?
We are, and they're gonna talk about it shortly. You can see that too at the informational workshops, should you so choose.
Ian and Carrie are gonna have a demo.
Ooh, we're pretty excited.
That is exciting. They are slick. Article 2 is to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to acquire by purchase, gift, or eminent domain a fee simple interest in property located off Woolsey Road, Lenox, containing 10 acres, more or less, identified by the assessors as parcel 22-3-0, and being the premises described in a deed recorded with the Berkshire Middle Registry of Deeds in Book 525, page 337, for open space, conservation, and passive recreational purposes, to be a portion of Kennedy Park, so-called. B, to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds, including the Community Preservation Fund, the amount of $250,000 for the purpose of funding said acquisition and costs incidental or related thereto. And C, to authorize the select board to grant a restriction on said parcel in compliance with general law, chapter 44B, section 12A. And further, D, to authorize the select board to enter into all agreements and execute any and all instruments on behalf of the town as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate said acquisition or take any other action in relation thereto. Anyone want to expound on that?
Yeah, I can do that real quick. So we had an off-cycle CPC meeting. Jay, this has been in the works or in discussion for 15 plus years, at least.
More, yeah.
There's,
Ruth says 1993 is when it first started the pilot.
Wow.
well, that's quite a bit longer than that then.
Yeah.
So it's approximately 10 acres. It's what we consider Kennedy Park already. It's right smack dab in the park, just past the water tower. But what we know is the path called Woolsey Trail. Kennedy Park came into an existence prior to zoning for Kennedy Park. So in the estimation, Eamon down in land use did a lot of research with our law firm as well, and they determined that it was actually possible for someone to acquire this land when it came up for sale again and develop it, even though it seems unbelievable that you could build something in this Kennedy Park parcel. The way it's zoned, or was zoned and never rezoned, it could have been built upon, so we decided as a town to make a proposal to CPC. CPC heard our off-cycle application and approved it at the CPC level to use their land acquisition funding to buy this. But we still have to go to town meeting to have the town bless it.
Perfect.
While we're going through, do folks want to say who's going to speak at town meeting?
Well, we probably should do
Make a
that.
motion to give an explanation.
Yeah, okay.
Just to let you guys know, I will not be there. I'm going to be out of state, so I won't be at this meeting.
Well, I guess as chair,
So-
I have to do the opening, right? Opening remarks?
Yeah,
Yep.
So I can do opening and then Article 1.
I was asked by Kennedy Park to present this one, so I don't mind.
Okay. Ed's gonna do 2.
It's official.
Okay. All right, moving right along. My pen is gonna die. Oh, sorry, no, Ed's doing 3. Let's do, no, let's do. So Article 3, to see if the town will vote to appropriate from the Community Preservation Fund for fiscal year 26 the following amounts recommended by the Community Preservation Committee, or to take any other action relative thereto. A total appropriation of $250,000 from the Open Space Reserve Fund. Is that correct? Yes. So Ed, you might as well do that one too then.
Or is it CPC?
Or is that, what does CPC do that?
Tommy or something?
Tom will be there for the planning board, so he's chair of that, so he can
Yeah.
probably do CPC.
Tom can probably do this,
Yeah.
or I'll take it, or you can take it.
Yeah.
Any one of us can.
We'll work it out.
It's just a piggyback right after the first motion.
I think
Right.
normally CPC, somebody from CPC
Yes.
does.
It might be good to have their version of it.
Okay. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board, A, to acquire by purchase, gift, or eminent domain, a fee simple interest in property located at 41 Housatonic Street and 51 Housatonic Street, Lenox, identified by the assessors as parcel 43_121_0 and parcel 43_122_0 respectively, and being a portion of the premises described in a deed recorded with the Berkshire Middle Registry of Deeds in Book 5109, page 309 for general municipal purposes, including but not limited to parking and redevelopment. B, to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds the amount of $1 million for the purpose of funding said acquisition and costs incidental or related thereto. And further, C, to authorize the select board to enter into all agreements and execute any and all instruments on behalf of the town as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate said acquisition or take any other action in relation thereto. This is-
Now, we can strike, we keep going, we have short-term and long-term goals for the property. And frankly, our mission for the property has matured since this first came up over the summer. We keep coming up with different ideas and things, and it's hard to pinpoint. But Katie had put, parking here, we can just simply say for redevelopment purposes, because really at the end, if town meeting approves this, it might look entirely different. We don't know, several years from now exactly what we're going to do. So we can strike that. It's just, I caught it as, I was actually listening to somebody.
Yeah, be smart not to lock ourselves into anything.
So we can just leave it at for general municipal purposes?
For general municipal
And redevelopment?
purposes and redevelopment, yes.
Perfect. Other than that
Including but
slight-
not limited to redevelopment.
Great. So other than that slight change, we'll run with that as it is.
So I think this will generate a lot of conversation at town meeting. And, I believe I more or less gave my best explanation as I could 2 weeks ago. We didn't, we couldn't only buy just the parking lot to preserve what we already use as parking. There were many attempts made. There were some wrinkles along the way with the seller having different ideas about what they wanted to do, with a potential other buyer that's local wanting to be involved in the mix that didn't pan out. So we are not locking ourselves into any one single plan other than the idea that we don't want to lose that lot at the corner of Housatonic and Church that's existing parking. And this is, for lack of a better way of saying it, the best that Eamon, Jay, myself, Ed, all of us who were involved in negotiating this purchase, this was the best deal that we could get. And so we're going to present it that way to town meeting. If people don't like the idea, I hope that we can differentiate between what we might do with it, or parts of it, such as the building, from we don't want to get it sold out from under us to another developer that will have free reign to do whatever they want.
The town's acquisition will be able, and we're gonna do some slides on this, not many, one or two at best. We'll have one at Kennedy Park, show exactly where Kennedy Park, where the parcel lies within Kennedy Park. And Amy's gonna put a few together, you know, for this as well, so people can see it. But I think in the short term, it's important for people to know if the town doesn't buy it, we lose some level of guidance that we could give to the redevelopment of that. We don't know what could be done there. If the town does acquire it, we now can guide that development. We can guide the redevelopment forward with it. Eamon, as land use director, can be involved in it. It'll allow us to put out an RFP, request for proposals. We can actually choose, the community can choose what we want that to look like, and within the confines of procurement law, who exactly we want to do that. It's a very visible section of town. So even beyond just preserving the parking spaces, there's been other concepts and ideas that we've batted around. But we have to acquire the property first. And we know what the cost is. We're well aware of it. I am well aware of that cost. But we have chatted with realtors, and nobody has said that is obnoxious for the open market for 2 parcels in downtown Lenox right now. So as Neil said, it's the best deal that we can get. In terms of the house, we heard from our historic commission that they would like to not see the house torn down. If the town doesn't acquire it, we lose the opportunity to even forestall that at all, because then it'll still be within the public hands, and when July comes and the demolition delay expires, they can do what they want with it. They can roll the truck right up. If it's in the town hands, we can make an effort within reasonableness and within our resources to try to do something with the house. I would say our long-term goals are some form of commercial redevelopment, i.e. new growth, new taxable growth on that corner, some form of housing protection in there, as well as some maintaining parking capacity. Clarence did a nice job reporting on that study that Eamon did, albeit informal, but we know we're here at certain times a year, and if we lose that capacity, we could make it, you know, worse. So I think those are the long-term goals. Can we say at town meeting, this is what it's going to look like if we do it? No, we can't. That's normal with community development. A little bit of faith, a little bit of facts.
And that's also another reason why we're having these informational workshops next Wednesday, is to give people who maybe aren't watching this evening, maybe they hear about it from friends, they're still concerned, they can come on the afternoon session between 1 and 2, or the evening session between 5 and 6, and you know, we can talk people through our thoughts on this, and the fact that this is really a community endeavor, and it's our attempt to have some sort of site control initially, and then look at the redevelopment possibilities down the road. So people who don't know about this tonight, tell your friends, come to one of these 2 informational meetings, and we'll continue to help people understand the goals.
Yes, and if those times aren't, and somebody really wants to have a conversation, Eamon is a great resource. Make an appointment with Eamon, make an appointment with me, and we'll be happy to have the conversation and go through all the different concepts and scenarios, pros and cons with it.
You can just make a call to any of us.
Right.
Really, I mean, I've fielded quite a few
Yeah.
questions about it, and
This is, we've thoroughly,
Yeah. I think
It's-
everyone's been approached, and
Yes.
so that's why I think it was important to try to provide people with another forum, so that we get as much information out there as possible before the special town meeting.
we have thought this through.
Excellent. Anyone want to pounce on this one at the meeting?
I will go ahead and
Excellent.
stand there to get beat up.
Get shellacked. Okay. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $65,000 from free cash, so-called, as certified on July 1st, 2025, for capital expenditures at the Lenox Library, or take any other action in relation thereto.
That's the space utilization study.
We just discussed this in Permanent Building Committee. It's going to be subject to a couple of conditions that we will do, but that doesn't need to be part of this.
No, the further explanations will be in the town manager's cover letter that everyone's used to.
Yep.
That will be published tomorrow as well. Deanna and I can have
All right.
things tonight.
I'm happy to take this one if you want to take it as you're the chair of that committee?
Yeah.
I don't. Do you want to take this one too?
I can, since I'll be up there.
Right.
It'll be easier than the one I did before it.
That's true. All right, Article 6.
You hope.
To see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $304,000 from free cash, so-called, as certified on July 1st, 2025, for short-term interest payment on the bond anticipation note for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade project, and further to transfer said appropriation to the wastewater enterprise fund, or take any other action in relation thereto. This seems pretty self-explanatory. We're just getting ahead on our bill paying and interest payment? Great.
I should add for everybody, everyone at home might be sitting there wondering, wow, we're going through a lot of free cash. Free cash has been certified as of July 1, 2025. So we have a brand new, very robust amount of about 5.5 million. That what you're seeing tonight is not a spending spree with it, very tactical, strategic thought process. So there's nothing that we're discussing tonight that affects the tax levy. This is all strategic use of free cash, very similar to what we've done before. It's mostly just dictated by timing, the ability to get some of these things done now. And that's beauty Lenox. Anna got free cash certified, so we're able to get some of this.
And she just gave us that good news the other day. It
Right.
wasn't like we backed into this. This is,
No, it's a robust number. It's
Yeah.
good, great news. And I think, when we present this, I'm certainly willing to, but, be prepared to talk about municipal financing in general, because I don't know that people understand, the fact that we have these capital projects like the safety complex, which we're, let's say, 85, 90% through with. It hasn't been bonded long-term yet. We are using short-term notes called bond authorization notes. And, in conversations that I've had frequently with Jay and Anna and our, bond help, we've looked at the rate environment, and when we started last spring, it wasn't very good and even got worse. It's starting to ease, and I continue, knock on some wood, to think it will ease a little bit more. So these short-term bans are a good bridge to your long-term bond. And we all hope that the bond environment will be even better by then.
Hopefully.
Great. Does anyone want to take this one? I'm happy to if no one does.
I'll do 7.
Excellent. Article 6 is, oh, you want to do 7?
I'll do 7.
Okay. So this one's 6. I'm happy to do that one. Perfect. 7. So 7, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $29,000 from free cash so-called as certified on July 1st, 2025 for capital expenditures in the fire and rescue department, or take any other action in relation thereto.
This one's in order to dialing back when we bought our new ambulance called New A1. New A1 is due to be delivered sometime in the next few weeks. We may even have.
You might have it for the open house.
For November 8th. It'd be nice to be able to do that. Chief O'Brien's plan was X amount of dollars could be spent to trade in our existing unit. That number was about 29,000, maybe 30,000 at the most. Chief O'Brien wanted an estimate done on the existing A2, A1, to see if we could make it A2, and essentially keep it in service for a period of time as a reserve unit in case A1 has warranty issues, has to go back to the manufacturer, anything like that. We don't have that now. If A1 goes down, we have to borrow another unit from Lee in order to keep EMS service active. Also, there is a long-term plan to eventually perhaps offer 2 frontline ambulance teams to respond to frontline calls. We're not there yet, but if we did get there, we'd need a second unit. This is a good opportunity to test that. The good news was the fire department, under Chief Casucci's guidance, went and got a quote. It's about $29,000 in order to keep A1 as A2. That seems like a really smart deal for us to keep that ambulance in service. The work will entail some body work, corrosion adjustment, bumper adjustment, a little bit of electrical work to deal with some of the safety lights on it, and then mostly suspension work on it. So rather than trading it in for $29,000, we can repair it for.
We learned that lesson, I'd say 10 years ago with one of our fire trucks. We,
Mhm.
instead of trading it in, we kept it as a reserve piece. And it's part of the rotation almost now because it just is needed. You can't live without that reserve piece now. It's the same thing with
I
that.
also think that, we have probably close to $60,000 into this thing. I think you could get $60,000 for it if you found out that we really don't need it. So I think it's a good investment, frankly.
Well, Jay says, I think it's, in the future, it's gonna go the other way. It's
Oh,
not,
I know,
you know.
I know, but I don't think it's a lose-lose anyway.
No, it's not.
I
It's
think
not.
it's a win-win.
Yeah.
There might be situations where we have adequate staffing and try it and see if it works, but we need the unit to do that.
Well, the staffing that's a whole different ballgame.
Yes.
But,
Yeah, we're not there yet, but, In addition to, yes, this is an expenditure, when we do go down and need to use an alternate unit, keep in mind that we have man hours and overtime and things like that that erode. So there's expenses involved in being a one ambulance town that will be saved if we repair this
I
one.
also think we're on an enterprise fund on the ambulance services, so it's not taxpayer dollars really, it's.
It contributes to our free cash.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not, you're granted, your point's well taken, but the fact is that when you look at the taxpayers and say it's really not costing them anything on this.
It's smart management to do it this way.
Right, that's what we decided 10 years ago.
Yep.
Great. Moving on to Article 8, to see if the town will vote to appropriate the sum of $49,102.83 to the Lenox Affordable Housing Trust, and further, to provide for said appropriation, transfer said sum from available funds, or take any other action in relation thereto.
This is 25% of the short-term rental income that goes into the lodging income. That number is decreasing, so that's why that number's down, but most of our voters should recognize this article from this time in previous years.
Okay?
Who wants
Anybody
that?
want
Mary Beth,
to?
I usually do it, but sorry about that.
We can film you ahead of time.
I could, sure, why not? I could call in.
Dave, do you want to do this one too, since you're already up there for 7? No. Okay? I can do it. Do you want to?
Yeah, go
That doesn't
ahead.
matter to me.
Next.
Okay. Okay. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to amend the general bylaws so as to replace existing Chapter 28 with operations of short-term rentals with a new Chapter 28 operation of short-term rentals as set out in a handout at special town meeting and in substantially the same form as discussed at the Select Board public hearing held on October 8th, 2025, or take any action in relation thereto.
Planning board gonna do that?
It's general bylaw, belongs to us. We can, if you'd like, you can delegate to Eamon, he's not here tonight.
Yeah, let's do that.
Told him.
Article 9, Amen.
yeah, David's amenable, it would be good. He did a great job
He
the other
did.
night with us.
He understands this the
Yeah.
best.
Yes,
He
I
has
agree.
his head wrapped all around this. I mean, we can ask Matt Colmer to be there too in case of it.
I think it would be helpful if Matt was there.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, the one thing that Matt can answer is,
Am I?
so you're not gonna tell me that I have to meet Mass Building Code? You know? I mean, he might not, but he's,
Camera, thank you.
Hate to see him put on the spot.
yeah, I don't wanna get him,
He
yeah.
can't do it.
It's like, if you don't ask, you're fine, but if, you know, he can't misrepresent what the Mass Building Code is.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is all Eamon, it's not really
Right.
Matt,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
so
I agree.
he should be able to do it.
Great. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaw by revising section 6.1.12 fencing, as well as associated changes to 6.1.13 screening, as set out in a handout at special town meeting and in substantially the same form as discussed at the planning board public hearing held on October 14th, 2025, or take any action in relation hereto.
That's got Tommy written all over it,
Yeah,
doesn't
I was gonna
Yes.
say both of these
Articles
look like
10 and
they're
11
Tom.
should be Tom,
Yeah.
as chair of the planning board.
10 and 11, great. Then I'll read 11, to see if
Tom
the...
will have slides too.
Yeah.
11 is to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaw by amending section 9.2 accessory dwelling unit as set out in a handout at special town meeting and in substantially the same form as discussed at the planning board public hearing held on October 14th, 2025, or take any action in relation hereto. A 2/3 vote is required for this, and Tom will handle this one,
Or Amen.
or Eamon.
We should change the order. If Eamon's gonna do this, we should, it feels like we're going short-term rental related to fence, and then back to something related to short-term rental in our sequence.
So maybe we should do, maybe it should be, should we change it so that Article 9 is 11?
Accessory, this is the way that Tom and Eamon looked at it already, and ADUs, although you can easily confiscate that issue, it's actually separate. It can be, you can build an ADU on your property without a short-term, right? Dave could live in my backyard if I,
Yeah, it is two different things.
It is two different things. I think people complicate them, though, but, you know.
Because ADUs are for long-term leases, generally.
Okay, let's keep it as is, and this can either be Tom or Amy.
I think Tom's prepared, he's ready to go.
Great. Great. All right, then that settles our I guess do we need a motion then?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the special town meeting warrant for town meeting scheduled November 6th, 2025 at 7 PM at the Duffin Theater at the Lenox Middle and Memorial High School.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I should also note that the finance committee did meet last night, and they approved all the, hence the language.
Oh, good.
I didn't know if I would say that earlier, but they did.
Will they write a letter again?
Not for this, no.
Okay. That's
No,
fine.
Normally, we wouldn't even see
Yeah.
some of the
No, I
appropriations.
get that.
And then last, are we tabling this or is this still?
Well, Liz is here, I don't know if she wants.
Then we have a discussion for the conservation and preservation at Church on the Hill Cemetery.
Liz, I just,
All
I know what I learned in the pasta aisle.
I apologize. I saw Liz at Price Chopper a couple of days ago, and I said, oh, I don't know the details, but we're talking about the cemetery on Wednesday, and then just as I came in here tonight, Jay said, we're not gonna talk about it, but,
Amos said Alan Woga could make it, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to, I'm Liz. Okay. I'm gonna be on TV. So I'm Liz Goodman, and I live at 198 New Lenox Road, and I'm the pastor at Church on the Hill. I'm also the pastor in Monterey. I'm just very interested in hearing more about what the cemetery vision might become. And I know we're just at the beginning of a conversation, and if it's a conversation that's well done, it will be a long one, and it will take some time, but careful thought takes time. And so I'd love to just be a part of that. I'm hoping to find the right process for establishing what the line is between church property and town property. So the trustees at the church have proposed something to bring to the town for our, legal teams or whatever to work with so we can establish that, because it's not established. And Amy LaFave put together a slideshow to try to find the conclusive bit of paper, the sacred text that would make us all understand what the line is, and it was never found. So the reason I would love to know where the line is so the church can, in its endeavor to make the building more accessible and more useful and more a week-to-week busy thing, is to get our hands around parking and to make the front lawn both sound for parking on, but also beautiful, sort of like what you see at Tanglewood, or pavers where grass grows through. So it could be extra parking as needed, but meanwhile we could also stripe the lot. Because when we have events at the meeting house, like Susan McNinch's funeral, one of the first things in my mind is, oh no, parking. And I really don't want my first thing that I think in an occasion like that to be parking. So if we could clarify how to use that lot, which feels tied to the town church line, because it would be a real priority for Church on the Hill to get our hands around that and to do it in a way that's completely useful also to the town. So one of the things that I found from 1983 was a piece of paper when Kennedy Park was being worked on. The church was granting access to the church parking lot to the town for the building of Kennedy Park. So there was a time in the not recent past when it was kind of understood that it's the church's lot and the town uses it. And I would like to kind of reestablish that so that big things can come to the church to do, and that regular use can come to the town to enjoy. It just feels like it takes one thing off the town's plate as far as traffic movement and logistics and all. And I also just want to say, relatedly, I'm so excited about that sidewalk coming up the hill on the west side of the street, and Bill now thinking about repairing the steps or building a handicap access to the front lawn of the church, which I just feel like would be such a great thing for all involved. So those are kind of the things that I would like to have part of the conversation. And I also really appreciate one thing that I think I remember Bill Gopp saying, I think I remember it correctly, Bill Gopp saying that when you drive through the cemetery, you're essentially driving through a museum. And so if we could somehow make it clear that the cemetery is only to drive through if you're in a town truck or a hearse. That's kind of my thinking. And if we worked together, I think we could really make the hilltop just a gem, more of a gem. It already is, but really play into it. So I want to be a part of that
I
conversation.
can tell you that Amy has a library volunteer working on it, and she's a pretty well-accomplished real estate attorney when they
Oh,
share
okay.
my name.
Oh.
And she's completely infatuated with that topic.
Oh, church timeline. She's infatuated with it? Great.
Yes.
That sounds great.
She's
I don't think I'm
digging into that.
infatuated as much as like violently
I'll
obsessed.
introduce you to it. I'll introduce you to it.
Sounds like there'll be peas in a pod. That sounds great. But all in all, I really am excited about this conversation coming down the pike.
Yeah, I think what I hadn't told you, Price Chopper, was that we were expecting to hear some new ideas about preservation of headstones and things like that. Olga and Al are here to present that, so I don't really know.
Long story short, we don't have sufficient funds budgeted in order to keep up with the necessary, essentially masonry repairs, stabilization repairs of some of the headstones. So I think Al and Olga, we're going to seek the select board to see if we could appropriate some more money in the budget.
It's only a few years ago, we had, gave $20,000 and they did a lot of restoration of headstones.
You know what the problem is now, Dave? You can't, that person that did the work for us is no longer here.
It's a trade.
It's a trade that you can't, it's hard to find somebody, and there's a lot of work, and I know it's important, your part is important, but the whole cemetery, we have to keep on the front burner is, you know, those fences are falling down, the stones are fragile, they're falling down, they're broken, we need to do a lot of work up there, more than we could, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of money too.
Okay,
So it's
just
another one of those expenses that we have to
one more
plan for.
observation. We got 2 or 3 bids, when we put it out to bid, to get all the stones fixed, so there are a couple other people around to do that. So Olga may have their names.
Maybe, he's been coming
Billy
up
has
dry.
not had any response.
He's had no luck.
Billy wasn't superintendent when we did that.
No,
Okay.
recently, he's been doing it recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
he's
there-
been trying, he and I talked as recently as, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. I gave him another name that was old and no longer in the business, but they helped us. We did a project ages ago in New York State adjacent to a cemetery, and they were worried about vibration causing headstone problems, so this company specialized in stabilizing and holding in place. But they're not in business anymore either. It's just a,
Bill and I think the strategy may have to be.
Dying business.
Dun, dun.
I was waiting.
That was good.
but, you know,
We may
so.
have to put a larger project together and put it out to bid in order to get interest.
Right.
That was.
And Mass Historic Commission does fund cemetery restoration and conservation, and they would have a list of craftspeople who you would be authorized to work with. So if you were to win a grant or apply for a grant.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of funding mechanisms out there to do this kind of work, I'm sure.
It's a huge,
When you really start digging into it.
Mhm.
And if
Right.
we could get a grant, we would augment what we need to with town funds.
So in the immediate term, do you have an idea of when Bill hopes to tackle the stairway?
I don't.
Because in my mind, they're at least 8-foot, maybe even 10-foot marble slabs that would make a great curb stop / barrier to to people that shouldn't be driving through the cemetery.
Yeah, that's a good idea. To stop cars from driving.
Yes.
there. Yeah.
You know, Hearst, yes, DPW if necessary, but regular old cars that just happen to find themselves there and/or stuck in the winter.
It would be a great reuse of the stairs once that's determined. how it's
Something
done.
like that.
Yeah.
But
one other possibility that that's a big idea, I have no idea if it's possible, is to move the fence that's around the church and the cemetery, to move it back away from the road, so it's just encircling the cemetery. It needs to be repaired anyway, so now would be a good time to move it if that were a possibility. And then that would suggest that this isn't open for driving around in.
Yeah, that's another thing that should be dealt with there. Originally, that hill was almost as high as, when you went out by the fence, that's how high the road was. But that's all been dug out over the years. So now the whole hill is starting to go this way.
Right. Right. Good job.
Oh, yeah. Things in that picture right up there. The grade, it's more shallow.
Yeah, the grade is different there, yeah.
That's interesting.
I think that's a good idea too. We of course have I exit Greenwood pretty much every day and look at the beautiful cemetery and the revised clock tower and appreciate it, but also am constantly flummoxed by the number of people going back and forth across the street on foot at the top of the hill. And I know that new sidewalk is supposed to fix that, but if there were no fence and only the entrance to the parking lot, I'm worried that that's kind of like more becomes a free-for-all again.
Well, if the fence is moved, I wonder if we could install the sidewalk.
Well, that could happen too. It's, you know,
It's gonna be funny.
That fence has been there a long time.
Yeah.
There is a sidewalk in front of the church. You can barely see it, because it is an old pavement walk from the steps to basically aiming toward the front door. So one of the things, Bill and Dan Ross of the planning board and I just had a quick meeting on the front lawn 2 weeks ago or so, and we were talking about re-emerging that or making it concrete or pavement or however we might want to do that. But that's,
Okay, great. Then our next regular meeting, I'm sorry.
One more project.
Indeed, yes. Our next regular meeting will be November 5th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.